Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are recording on Saturday, November 2nd, after the Celtics win over the Charlotte Hornets, second straight at Spectrum Center, swept their mini two-game series down there. Less antics from Grant Williams in the second one. Less does not mean zero because there were still some, but Celtics got a 113-103 win, walked out of Buzz City 2-0, and that's kind of all you asked for. So,
Jack, are you undefeated on the season with your Houdini picks? I think you are.
Predicting
I think you're
Celtics
7 for 7
season
or 8
Let me
for
see.
8.
I don't know if I said they would drop one of these games to the Hornets. I had them both wins. I am 7 for 7 so far.
Wow. Sharp.
I did say Atlanta would be a loss, so hopefully I am not.
Legacy game for Jack on Monday.
Yeah. Hey, starting 7 for 7, I'll still take as a win because
I wonder.
Pretty good.
I know you can't do it on my sportsbook app, but I do wonder what a 7-game Celtics parlay would be. Because like for example, like I know in college football
Probably not
before the
very
season,
good.
like all these games have lines on them no matter what. So
Yeah.
essentially, if you bet the Celtics to go 6-1 through their first 7 with the Pacers being the loss, I wonder how much that would pay you.
Probably not as crazy because a lot of the Celtics money lines are probably bad, but probably like a couple hundred at the very
opening
end.
night would have been a good one. Milwaukee would have been a good one.
Yep.
Pacers would have been probably a dog.
Pretty good. It wouldn't have been bad. I wonder if they've covered the spread in all of them.
They certainly haven't.
They didn't against the Pistons. Anyways, Celtics beat the Hornets in this game, 113-103. Jayson Tatum, I'm pulling up the box score, but I'm pretty sure Jayson Tatum led the way in the scoring department despite his woeful game from beyond the three-point line. He was good in every other area, literally every other aspect of the game. Jayson Tatum was awesome. Could not make a three.
Turnovers bad, but
couldn't buy one. Yeah, 5 turnovers. He did turn the ball over a decent amount, but he responded to literally every time he touched the ball. The Hornets double teamed him, and I thought he did at least decent job outside of the turnovers of working out of that and getting open looks for everybody else. Derek White had a pretty inefficient night, maybe his most inefficient of the season. Luke Cornett was great stepping into the starting role. Peyton Pritchard was awesome. We'll talk more about him. Jordan Walsh stepped up, played some minutes off the bench as well. Sam Hauser looked all right. Just a good overall win, but those Tatum threes are brutal, man.
welcome to the team.
It's bad.
Tatum, we'll start there. Tatum, 6 of 6 on non-3-point shots. Good job, Tatum. Finished and made all of his shots from inside the arc. Just he got a little addicted to the step back threes tonight, but did a very good job of getting to the line with 17 free throws. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, he definitely did a good job getting the line. I think he was trying to embarrass Grant. Like, you could chalk up 2 or 3 of those 8 attempts to I want to make one over Grant.
If they lost this game, it could have been a big Grant W. Like, you could have been like, look at Grant. He got in his head.
It's true.
He played the long game. He knew the game yesterday was over, but he knew he had them again today.
He did.
But I mean, listen, overall, Tatum without Brown today did a very good job of controlling everything, right? Like 29 is the appropriate amount of points for him to score. Fortunately, he got some help from some guys that you may not expect scoring outbursts from. But as an individual, I thought Tatum was great. I think anytime he can get to the free throw line over 10 times, it's going to be a good game because he's just putting pressure on the defense. He's making those guys actually have to work. And when he's doing that, instead of entirely settling for the step back threes, like, yes, 9 threes in a game is like, please bleach my eyes bad. But when there's the 17 free throws, it becomes a little bit more difficult for me to come up here and be like, I fucking hate this. He needs to stop shooting all the threes. Keep forcing the issue. Keep getting to line. I know some of them were like end of the game fouls. Like Grant had the aggressive weird guy foul on him again today.
Yes.
But, not bad. 82% isn't bad, even though we hate to see them miss any. Very, very solid outing from Tatum. He made some good decisions. Had some big buckets in this one, too. I think he had when Charlotte was coming back, he stepped in.
Yeah. I'm okay with 9 threes. It's a little high. I think 8-ish is the right number. It was just the way he was taking the threes in this one. Like, it was too many of the let me just pull up, let me just step back, let me create for myself instead of the let me step in off a screen or let me play off the ball and get a 3, even though those are pretty rare. But like I said, outside of the threes and I guess the turnovers as well, even though I didn't necessarily notice them as much in real time, I thought Tatum was fine. Luke Cornett, really, really, really good in this game. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks of steal, 6 of 6, perfect from the field. Perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line, too. He was getting hacked down there. Maybe you want to see the rebounding. What do you say?
Shout out to us. We were sharp. We had him on the prize picks. Did we win?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, Al Horford
We
didn't
never
make a
win.
single three. Al Horford needed to make 1 3, and we won, and he didn't.
We never win.
But Luke Cornett, maybe you want to see the rebounding numbers a little bit higher, but he was fighting down there, and I think it opened up room for other guys to get rebounds. Tatum had 7, Hauser had 7, Derek White had 8. So I just great game from Luke Cornett. Did a phenomenal job of filling the gaps of the defense, playing in space, getting open. I found a nice little rhythm with Derek White at the end of the game in the 2-man action. Got a few easy buckets. He looked awesome in this game.
I love Luke. I loved him in this game. We loved him coming in. I think it's safe to say in any game where Luke Cornett doesn't have to play against another center, he's going to play well. It's just plain and simple. He's really good at finishing around the rim as is. On a night like tonight, he really wasn't given any sort of pushback when he was underneath. There was a few plays where they just got it to him, they lobbed it up, and he just turned and finished. And that was the best thing that they could have did because Charlotte was running guys out there. Luke, think of it like this. How many games can you point at Luke Cornett and be like, Luke Cornett was so dominant that the other team had to put in Taj Gibson because they were shook of how many easy baskets the Celtics were getting in the paint.
Mhm.
We saw Taj Gibson, who I did not even know was on this team 5 hours ago, playing a game because Luke Cornett was so effective. Shout out to Luke. Luke typically kind of does this. This is kind of his thing. When he actually gets large chunks of minutes, he's going to produce. Last year against Pistons, or Raptors, perfect example. Starts, gets 20 points, makes the eventual game-deciding bucket. This game, 19 points, efficient, forced the issue and got to the free throw line because they had no answer for him, so they just figured they would foul him. Yeah, this is another big moment. I mean, anytime that you can get a combined 49 points from Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard, and Luke Cornett, I think it's a pretty good day, especially considering Jaylen Brown was out. It's a big time for these guys to step up and score because without them, this game is a lot different and a lot more difficult on Tatum. But because all 3 of those guys had efficient nights, well, Hauser was a little bit subpar, but whatever. But the other 2, really effective, really excellent. And we can talk about Pritchard next. But shout out to Cornett. Ready for the moment, ready to start. And yeah, didn't have to play against another center. So big ups to him.
It's a good night when he doesn't have to do that. It's fine by the Celtics. It's fine by him. And you definitely knew Taj Gibson was on the Hornets. We saw him at Summer League. 100%. You definitely knew.
I saw him at Summer League. It doesn't mean that I knew that he was still alive. It doesn't mean I knew he was on the Hornets.
Well, he was sitting on the sideline with every other Hornets player on the roster.
Oh, no. I only remember seeing him in the casino.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Pritchard.
Breathing.
Pritchard was monster again. Made 6 threes, 5 of which were in the first half. I sent this stat to our little group chat. Peyton Pritchard is on pace to make more. I did the math. When he had 5 threes, he finished with 6. But when he had 5, he was on pace to make 324 threes this season. Steph Curry has done it 5 times. James Harden has done that once, and no other player in NBA history has done that. Obviously, would take a lot for him to keep up this pace. However, even if he cracked the 300 mark, which he's on pace to do in 75 games for what it's worth, he would join a club of Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, and James Harden. And even if he, I was like writing the article, 288 is the mark, and he's on pace to do that in 72 games on this pace. That's the most made by a non-all-star in a season. It's Buddy Hield. And the record for all-time threes made off the bench in a single season is 218, which he at this pace would do in 55 games. So he's gunning for that record pretty clearly. Obviously, it would take a lot, but man, he is just absurd. Like he is absolutely knocked down. And again, I don't think he's going to shoot 50% or whatever he's shooting for the entire season, but I damn well think he can break that record set by Wayne Ellington.
Yeah, and what's great about tonight's game in particular is, again, the Jaylen aspect where he's not actually playing, so the Celtics need additional scoring. But when you think about it from the perspective that Peyton Pritchard was not very good yesterday by his standards, he still ended up with a decent
Yes.
amount of points. But efficiency wise, he wasn't the same player we had seen through the first
Didn't
few
make it
games
3.
that could not miss. Today, he comes out extremely hot. It's like yesterday never even happened. So to see that confidence not waver from him is important because the Celtics are going to be asking him to do this pretty consistently. It's become very apparent that his role this season is to be the sixth man, to come in, to be a real part of the offense, not just a safety valve guy, but somebody who is getting the opportunity to create shots for himself beyond the arc. If he's going around screens, he's got the green light to shoot and pull. Not everybody on the team can say that. Well, maybe a lot of the guys that play on this team can say that just because they can all shoot the three really well, but they're not really being asked to create all of them, which is pretty impressive from Pritchard. And
Yeah.
he just continues to be like one of those spark plug spitfire guys too. Like he had an offensive rebound this game that he ended up turning over right after because he got blitzed in the corner. But for him to even get to that ball was just a 100% effort moment where he could have got back on defense and he comes in, makes a one-handed snag off a miss that was pretty like rapid off the rim. Like it was not an easy rebound to get. So I love what we've seen from Pritchard so far. I don't think anybody expected to see him carry the type of production that he was putting together in the preseason into the regular season. And it's really starting to feel real. I know Oliver Fox from Celtics blog, if it's not up by the time you're listening to this, it's coming. He's writing an article of whether or not this Pritchard stuff is real. And it feels super duper real.
Yeah.
Like didn't expect this. Usually we see it in the preseason and it fizzles out, but no, he's getting like the same kind of opportunities the regular season.
The reason I think it is real is because it's not like he's taking preseason or end of season garbage minutes reps, right? Like he is not, I'm going to take the ball and no matter what, I'm going to score or do something just me. Like a lot of these shots are off the ball. A lot of these shots are he is playing off the ball, he is working off the ball, he is, finding space, whether it's super deep from behind the arc or whatever, and he's making his money off of other people's dimes. But then there's also some of those Pritchard creates moments mixed in, and I don't think that can be fake. I think the Celtics just trust him to do that now, which is a very fun thing to watch unfold, especially considering we said it for the season, 6th man of the year could very well be in the cards. That is looking more and more real by the day, and I don't see any reason that he couldn't be in that conversation or shouldn't be in that conversation anymore. Because I think he is probably one of the front runners at this point to take home that award. He's been a monster. He looks so impressive. He looks even more impressive by the game. And like I said, that Wayne Ellington record of 218 threes off the play by a player off the bench, probably looking like Pritchard is on pace to do some damage to that. Let's see. Drew Holiday and Derek White, I feel like we can probably lump into one.
Quick note on Pritchard before we move on.
Sure.
So updated 6th man of the year odds. MGM bet plus 500, DraftKings plus 800, Caesars plus 750, FanDuel plus 500. At the beginning of the season, he was like plus 3,000. Like the amount of progress and like buzz he has created for himself in the last 2 weeks is remarkable, and it's real, and it feels real, and he's going to have the opportunity to win this award because the Celtics are playing so well, and he's actually getting an opportunity to play. So we move on, but you mentioned the odds, so I was like, let me look them up.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. He's been awesome. Drew Holiday and Derek White. Derek White, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, big blocks. Couldn't find the scoring in this game. 5 of 17, 4 of 13, very inefficient. But he made up for it with some nice playmaking at the end of the game, as well as his work on the glass. And he's going to get his buckets. Got to line 4 times too. 18 points is still decent. And then Drew Holiday, 3 of 7 from deep, some big threes in this one. Only 2 of 5 from 2, which is less than ideal, but 6 assists, 5 rebounds as well. The guards played fine. Derek White's defense was obviously awesome. The blocks were sick and had an important point in the game. But those two just despite maybe not having the most efficient nights on some during some games, they continue to just be rock solid on both ends when they need them to be. PrizePicks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports, and unlike other apps, on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. One Caleb Williams passing yard gets you 1 win on Prize Picks for every week in September. That's right, only 1 yard gets you an automatic win every football weekend in September. 4 weeks of free W's. Don't miss this deal on Prize Picks because it's gone when September ends. Also, you can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Sam and I used Prize Picks all season long while on How Bout Them Celtics pregame shows. We picked Jayson Tatum dunks, we picked Drew Holiday steals, we picked a ton of stuff, especially during the finals when Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, we were kind of preying on their downfall. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly. When you play $5, that's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game.
Yeah, and Drew made some big threes in this game too, or just big shots in general. This wasn't the prettiest game you've ever seen the Celtics play. For maybe 43 minutes it was, but the middle part of the game, especially right out of halftime, was pretty brutal to watch.
Yeah.
And when the Celtics were reeling, it was Holiday that made a couple big shots for them. He made some key threes when Charlotte was trying to get back into the game after the Celtics had answered that run too. And that's just another example of him being ready for the moment, being a veteran on this team who has all the experience you can have. And that's invaluable. You really can't put a number on that. For him to be consistently there, and it's kind of what he did last year too, despite not being asked to do the things that he had been doing in Milwaukee for years in terms of usage, is very impressive that he remains just, oh yeah, all right, I'll take, how many shots do you take tonight? I'll take 12 shots.
Yeah.
It's a lot
12.
for him, but usually it's not that many. And even that's less than what he averaged in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll take less shots and I'll be ready. Like 3 of 7 from 3 is pretty good. Derek wasn't efficient, but man, it's going to happen. When Jalen's out, you're going to see more attention towards Derek White, and it's not something he's going to necessarily be used to. His shots might be a little bit different than they normally are, and he's going to have to create a little bit more, which may not quite be ready yet for. He still impacted the game in other ways, which, tying it back to Tatum, was something we had always talked about when he was growing as a player, how we knew he had grown. When he's not scoring, but he's still impacting the game, that's how you know the guy is locked in.
Yeah, Derek White was fine. I'm never worried about Derek White having a bad game, shooting wise. I mean, because he just doesn't really happen. Sam Hauser, I thought, looked pretty good in this game. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of which were on the offensive end. Only 2 of 6 from 3. One of them was a super cool no dip 3, but I thought he was good. I thought this was, I don't want to say necessarily his best game of the season, but it just felt like his impact was better than just the threes, and even a couple of those fell. So I thought he was pretty good in this one. Even had a nice creation moment, I should say.
How about the lefty finish? Lefty finish from Hauser on the drive was smooth. Yeah, pretty solid. He didn't play yesterday. First game back. Well, he had the one game he played in Indy.
He played yesterday.
He was out. He did play yesterday?
Yeah.
Did he play on Wednesday?
Against the Pacers?
Yeah. Or was yesterday the return?
I don't think he played. He did play against Pacers, yeah.
All right. Well, just take me from behind the shit. It's good to see him finding it's good to see him finding his footing again then.
Yeah.
This is still an important step in his recovery process, whether it's the first game back or the third game back, for him to be confident enough to move around, to create his own shot, to be coming off screens, pulling threes. The no dip 3 is a nice thing to see as well. And then hitting the glass, 3 offensive rebounds is a big tip to the cap of him being a hustle guy, despite not really being known for that. I know Joe kind of talked about everything that the unknown guys do and the unknown things that they do in the press conference tonight, and that's one of the things. For Hauser to be an aggressor on the glass when he's just billed as a guy that shoots threes is all going to be a great bonus for you, especially as the season goes along, when guys have to miss games. You need guys to fill in and pick up the slack of somebody like Jalen, who is out tonight. Yeah, it's great. And it comes from the top down. Like, again, Tatum becoming a more well-rounded guy, I think really inspires the rest of the team to do so too, to really branch out from what their primary skill is and to affect the game as many ways as they can.
Yeah. Yeah, Hauser's good. I think it was probably the best he's looked since he's returned. Nemish Queta was all right. It felt like a bit of a down game after how great he's been lately. Wasn't necessarily in the best spots defensively. Kind of got beat off the dribble. Got beat a couple times when he probably shouldn't have in the paint. Few of those last year fouls in there as well. It wasn't necessarily a bad game. I don't want to paint it like he was terrible, but after the way he's been playing lately, it felt like a down night. Amy.
He also had some decent defensive possessions on LaMelo on the perimeter at the end of the game.
He had good moments. They
took Luke out of the game in favor of Nemi, and I think they trusted him to play defense on the perimeter instead. Kind of odd.
Yeah.
It's really off-brand. Nemi's not really known as a perimeter defender, so to see that kind of in his defensive bag was pretty cool. I didn't think we thought of him as that at all. We were like, "Oh, this guy's awkward. He's gonna foul everybody." And he did foul again today, but yeah, it wasn't quite what we'd seen the last couple nights. He was due to come back down to earth.
Yeah, he wasn't bad though by any means.
Dunked on Grant,
obviously, but he did dunk
Nemi
on
serves
Grant.
justice through his dunks. Yesterday was Miles Bridges. Grant was today.
I think tonight was a really good sign because all we were saying last year and in the preseason was like the highs of Nemi are better, but the lows are a lot worse. And I think the lows are getting a lot better for Keita, which
That's
is
important.
a good thing. Like I think this was probably a low, and he still looked like a very impactful basketball player. And the low last year was he had to get off the court because he's fouling too much. So for the low to have risen to, yeah, he's still making an impact out there. He made a few bad plays, but he still looks good. Like that is a massive developmental.
Well, not only does he look good, but he's out there at the end of the game. Like
yeah, exactly.
He's
playing
trusted
big
to be out there. That's big.
Yes.
And just to build on that, like we've seen since Joe Mazzulla took over this team. It's okay. Trust is a big thing for him. If the playoffs come around, a moment like tonight may matter to Joe when he's like, do I want to put Nemi in the game? Do I not want to put him in the game? The fact that he was able to put him out there in the fourth quarter against the Hornets when the game was, I don't want to say it was close, but it was like within reach. We saw them lose a game like this last year. Like it could have been done if they really wanted to. That goes a long way. It's something that he probably keeps in his mental bank. And who knows, maybe Nemi's ready to go on Monday and he has a good game against the Hawks and continues to kind of stay somewhat hot.
Yeah. I mean, I think he has earned a regular spot in the rotation. And I think he's probably going to keep that up moving forward. So excited to see what it looks like. Jordan Walsh was fine in this game. Jordan Walsh, who I tweeted out, moves his feet unbelievably well. Excuse me, on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, 3-point shots didn't go down in this one, which is disappointing. You want to see him make those, but defensively, he looked awesome again. So I liked what I saw from Jordan Walsh. There was one possession where he kept up with Trey Mann every step of the way, and then he just gave up the layup too easy. Like he just moved out of position at the very end. But that's it. Jordan Walsh moves his feet just so well defensively. It impressed me a lot in this game, but threes didn't fall. And it was kind of it was a good game, but it wasn't as much, oh my God, eye-popping Jordan Walsh game. But he was good. He was fine.
Kind of sucked that he missed a couple big threes on back-to-back possessions. Like
open ones too, yeah.
They were open. I want to say they were at the point of the game when it was starting to get a little bit close, or maybe it was in the first half when they were trying to pull away. I don't remember. I don't have my photographic memory on for Jordan Walsh minutes tonight. But I do remember them being like, oh, man, he really missed another one after they kind of gave him 2 for $1. That's okay. That's to be expected. I think Jordan is still working on his shot. It's got a ways to come before he's ready to play real minutes all the time. And I think he had an interview with Noah on Celtics blog that he was like, I'm ready to just do whatever. So he's going to keep growing. I'm sure he'll spend a little bit of time in Maine this year with an opportunity to work on that part of his game too, without the lights being as bright, which will probably be pretty healthy for the growth.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, it's just night and day from where it was even in summer league. So you love to see what we've been seeing for Jordan Walsh. And again, it wasn't like an otherworldly performance for him against the Hornets, but it certainly wasn't a bad game. And like Nemi, like the fact that his meh games are no longer Jesus, what is this guy doing? Like that's a good, big, notable thing to be talked about as well. Xavier Tillman was, again, just kind of not there. Like, just he's having a rough stretch right now, and it just doesn't seem like he's able to find his footing in this rotation. And it sucks because I still think he's an awesome player. It's just he's getting a little bit. He's not even a little bit. He's getting outplayed by Keita and Cornette because I think the fit's a bit awkward, and they're trying to run him at the 4, but it's still not perfect. He only played 2 minutes and he got yanked pretty quick. It's just It's just really awkward right now for X.
Yeah, he's fallen behind in the race, and to be honest with you, it's a really shitty situation for X because there's not a lot of opportunity or not a lot of wiggle room for error. You kind of have to be bringing it every time you go out there, or Nimi and Luke are going to just eclipse you. Like, even though neither one of those guys is a 3-point shooter, they have done enough with the other aspects of their game to kind of edge Tillman on the rotation. The Celtics aren't really feeling it. It doesn't really matter. They're both able to get up, rise up for alley oops, and finish around the rim. And that's almost just as good of a safety valve as a three. It's just worth one less point, which kind of sucks. I would like to see X get back in his groove. It's just more of, can they really afford to keep letting him go out there if he's not going to produce? I'm not rooting for him to
Well,
fail. It's just, why go away from these two guys when they've earned it?
I think that's more the thing. Like, they definitely can afford it. I think they are good enough where they could let him figure it out, but you don't really need to. You'd rather develop Nimi. You'd rather stick with Luke, reward him. It's just a tough spot for him. Man, what absolute crap at the end of that game. Like, there is fouling up by down too many points, and then there is what the Hornets did. I saw Keith Smith tweet about, like, oh, Charles Lee sending a message. He's mad at the refs, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. What the fuck is Grant Williams doing? Like, how is he going to do that and then expect to still be friends with these guys? Like, I think what you said on the show the other night was true. Like, other teams around the league probably always saw it like this, but seeing it from the other lens is like, okay, yeah, this is annoying as shit. Like, this is, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, even without the end of the gameplay today, right? There was a play in this game where Luke Cornett is setting a screen and Grant comes up and shoves him.
Yeah,
And it's an offensive foul on Luke because he fell on whoever the Hornets defender was. Might have been
and they
Trey
couldn't
Mann.
challenge at the time.
And
Yeah,
they couldn't challenge it. And I think that's the kind of thing you can't really challenge just because they can't review and be like, actually, there was a foul that we didn't
yeah.
call.
Well, no,
So
you
that
can do
kind of
that now, but
sucks. Oh, you
they had
can.
just
Okay.
like burned a timeout so early because Joe Mazzulla had that, like, what the hell you do in timeout, and so they didn't want to use another. But
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough. But yeah, you can see the little annoying shit that Grant does. And just for a little added perspective on the foul from yesterday, Noah just tweeted the clip. Tatum was asked about this in the interview today. I don't really want to talk about the Grant play from yesterday. We got ready for the game today. We came to Charlotte and we did what we're supposed to do. So he was probably not thrilled about the Grant play. Otherwise,
well,
he would
because
be
it's
like,
just
cool.
pointless, man. Like, even at the very, very end of the game when he, like, tried to pop up quick and, like, disrupted the inbound with, like, 10 seconds, like, come on, man, this is bush league shit. Like, let's grow up. It's just irritating. He's like if Dylan Brooks had a more reliable jump shot. That's what he's turning into, which I guess is a fine player, but it's just annoying. Also, LaMelo Ball, 36, 4 and 6 and 3. Just not a winning player. Like, he just does not impact winning at the level those stats show.
I
Like,
still thought he
this
was
dude,
good, though. He was annoying as shit to watch
he
play against the Celtics. It was like,
he's
this dude might
making
actually bring them all the way back.
he's making amazing shots. He is giving up all 36 of those points on the defensive end and more.
Yes, he
Every
is.
single one. He fouled 6 times, 2 of them
In
on
both
3-point
games.
shots.
Both games.
Fouled out of both games. Some of them were just stupid, unbelievably unnecessary fouls. Some were on 3-point shots. I think he had 3 fouls on 3-point shooters in 2 games, and they were all Tatum. Like, it is just unacceptable. Like, it is ridiculous. He is a otherworldly bad defender. Amazing, incredible offensive talent. So bad. Like, I would rather have Trae Young defensively bad. Like, he is awful. Because me and Jake were talking about this on late night. At least Trae Young, like, tries. Like, he is just tiny.
He'll
Like,
be a gnat and he'll draw
exactly.
charges.
He is annoying. He is, like, giving effort. He is just small. So he just won't be a good defender. LaMelo is 6'7". He could be a good defender if he puts in a little more weight and
Correct.
tries. He just does not try. And that is the worst type of player.
I agree. There's a few things I feel about this. One, I agree with you. He's clearly not trying to improve on the end of the floor. Otherwise, he would. You can see that just because it feels like offensively he's come a long way since becoming a pro. The question is why. My first instinct is because it's Charlotte. If he went somewhere else, maybe there is more, I don't want to say culture, but expectations from the organization to be great.
Mm.
The Hornets just don't have that. They just
I
don't.
think
However, there's also a layer of this that LaMelo has been a star since he's been, what, 13?
yes.
And he's probably just had it baked into his brain that I'm the shit. Everybody else can kiss my ass, and I'm going to go out there and
Yes.
get buckets. And he's like, look at my stats. I'm putting up numbers. So he probably just
Yep.
doesn't feel that motivated to get better. I think both of those things do play a role in this, though.
Mm-hmm. Also, just a terrible attitude, and I think that's what it is for me. He's got a shit attitude.
I think that plays into point too. Like just being like, I've been the
Yep.
shit since I was 13. Like you've seen the video of me pointing to the line at half court, pulling up and making it. Like
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be more LaMelos, like more
Definitely,
and
there
more of them with
absolutely will
all
be.
of the
Yes.
Instagram like highlights and all that shit, just because they've been essentially told that they're great probably too soon.
Yeah, 100%. Anything else from that game, or do you want to go to the email?
From the game, Trey Mann looked good in both games. Cody Martin
Trey Mann's a good
and
player,
Caleb
man.
Martin can both kick rocks. Seeing Cody played decent against the Celtics was a
He
little
was pretty
annoying.
good. Brandon Miller looked
And
good once he found his rhythm too. He
yeah, it
was
was cool to
rusty,
see
you could
Brandon
tell,
Miller
but
play. Dunked on
he
Tatum.
was good. Yes. Also, preying on the downfall of that rat fuck piece of shit on the Hornets. He looks like ass. Basketball season is back, and I could not be more excited. Getting to watch my favorite team live in person is my favorite time of the year, and I get all of my tickets on Game Time. Game Time is the perfect app to use for all of your ticketing needs. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. It brings the best prices, the best deals for you to go watch live basketball right to the front. But it's more than basketball season. The Patriots are back, and the Chargers are coming to town very, very soon, and it looks like you can get a great deal to that game. Justin Herbert get to come to Gillette Stadium to hopefully play Drake May. He did get the start recently, so that should be a very, very fun quarterback matchup as well. My favorite part of the app is the fact that you can filter out the fees, you can look at the best deals, and it highlights what it believes are going to be the best deals for you to get the exact type of ticket you want. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, everything you want. I saw Noah Khan over the summer. I use Game Time to get my tickets. All-in pricing is another part that I absolutely love about the app. Toggling the feature shows the exact total upfront. Like I said, filters out the fees, tells you what you're paying with everything included. It is perfect. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, email. A reminder as always, you guys can email us at hbtcpod@gmail.com, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Got a few emails today. Let's check out what they say. I was trying to find a word so I didn't rhyme and have it sound corny, but I couldn't, so I rhymed anyways. From Keith Lacey, Jason/Grant. Jayson Tatum and Grant Hill got a lot in common. Not the Grant I thought he was talking about.
Both yes. I think you said, he said this on Wednesday, so this was even
3 days ago.
The Pacers game.
Yeah.
On Keith.
Tatum and Grant Hill got a lot in common. They both went to Duke University. Both was the number 3 pick. Both moms are lawyers and fathers are pro athletes. Tatum's father played overseas in basketball. Hill played over in the NFL. I mean, I see it. I think Tatum already has a better career than Grant Hill did, to no fault of Grant Hill's own. I think he just dealt with injury issues, but Grant Hill was a motherfucker when he was in the NBA. I feel like people forget about Grant Hill, but he was damn good. So I think this is a fine comparison.
Unfortunately had injuries and stuff, so let's hope those things don't become uncommon.
Very true. Yeah, no, Grant Hill at his best averaged 26, 6.5, and 5. That's pretty damn good. Next email, RJ. I wonder what Joe will be teaching from this one. This is from Thursday after the Pacers game. Even folks, hell of a comeback for an almost win against the Pacers. Fourth quarter must have been giving the Pacers playoff flashbacks as they wondered how big a lead was saved. At the 8:54 mark, Coach Mazzulla set Tatum, White, and Cornette to go with the lineup of JB, Pritchard, Tillman, Walsh, and Queta. And in 3.5 minutes, they cut the margin from 21 to 14. With 5:17 left in regulation, Tatum and D. White came back in for Tillman and Walsh. Boston completed the comeback as JB scored 5, Derek got 8, and Tatum put up an impressive 10, 1, and 1 with a steal on perfect shooting. 2 of 2 from 3, 4 of 4 from the line. The spell was broken in overtime for everyone but D. White, who scored 5 of the Celtics' 8 points. Jays went a combined to 0 for 6, 0 of 5 from 3. Yep. 1 of 4 from the foul line, did 2 rebounds and a turnover. Nobody's perfect, but that timing kind of stank. What's the takeaway? Don't worry, it's an October game. Or maybe the Celtics can kick it up a notch, don't worry. Or maybe just imagine when KP gets back. For me, it's, quote, this team can be astounding when they play the right mindset. Play with the right mindset, I should say. We saw it when Jalen and the reserves in the fourth, followed by Derek and JT taking the baton to close the game. I hope we see the focus Celtics in Charlotte. Be well, RJ. And you did see the focus Celtics in Charlotte. Like, very much so.
For most of the games. In both games, they did let the Hornets come back just so they could compete. Maybe it was a Joe Mazzulla thing. He wanted to see his team battle some adversity in a couple of games that they probably weren't going to see any. But yeah, I think the character that they showed in Indiana was pretty impressive, especially with the slew of guys that they put in the game and how Joe kind of kept them in to try and get across the finish line. It just didn't work, but not every day do you get to see your team fight from 24 down. You just don't.
Definitely. Last email, again from RJ. Charlotte exhibition games. This is from literally 52 minutes ago. Evening, guys. These sure didn't feel like regular season games. Tatum sitting out the fourth Sunday until 4:36 in the fourth. Al and JB alternating their days off. I hope the second MRI comes up clean. Yeah, JB's getting a second MRI, so fingers crossed. Lots of Walsh and Keita contributions, along with Luke being featured on offense. The C's missed their exhibition games in Charlotte because of Abu Dhabi, so maybe these were a makeup. Regardless, 2 wins are a solid result for a lot of half-effort basketball. I'm sure Joe will have plenty to coach about. Be well, RJ, who reminds everyone in the U.S. to vote. Forgot that time of the year. But yeah, 2 good games in Charlotte.
You reminded Jack. You would have forgot.
Games.
Nobody anywhere is telling anyone to go vote. Jack would have never remembered.
Cool. All right. Let's go to the NBA here. Check the standings around the league. See what's going on quickly. Again, these because of the game by 1, but we first and foremost, and we're just going to lump the NBA section into one thing tonight because it's late and after the game and all that stuff. But we talked about it last time, the Pelicans having bad luck, and I think they have since had more bad luck. Or did we talk about the CJ and Herb Jones injuries last time? I don't think we did.
We talked about Herb. I don't know if we talked about CJ.
Well, because we talked, I don't think we did it on a pod because that was Friday, and we haven't recorded since. Now the Pelicans are staring down injuries to Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, DeJounte Murray, and CJ McCollum. They just signed Jalen Noel to a training camp / Exhibit 10 contract to fill the gaps for now. But man, they're in a tough spot.
That sucks, man. I really don't like to see guys get hurt, especially somebody like Herb Jones, who really has broken out as one of the premier defenders in the league and has been somebody that other players can look at and be like, I can get in the NBA if I play the correct way and do my job like Herb Jones and get paid like Herb Jones does. Sucks to see him get hurt. Sucks for the Pelicans because they've just had shit injury luck for years now. They've had the roster to be at least competitive in the West, and they never have really gotten the chance to do so because of injuries. CJ, of course, has been in the league forever, and he's getting on the older side, so injuries are going to happen to him. But again, all this shit sucks, man. I don't think we talked about Paulo either. Paulo got hurt, and that sucks. He just had 50.
Yeah.
And then the dude hurts his oblique. He's going to be out, what, 4 to 6 weeks? What
4 to 6 weeks. And I think it's 4 to 6 weeks till he's reevaluated. So I don't even think it is he'll be back. I think it is he will be checked in on by then. So Magic are in a tough spot. Looking at the standings quickly. Cavs continue to be monsters. They've been awesome this season.
I think they are losing at the moment.
I think it's really close. When I looked at the score, it was like a 2-point game at halftime.
They're up 72-71 at 9:28 p.m. in the third quarter.
But the Cavs have been really good. I think they've had a relatively weak strength of schedule. As have the Celtics though. So but Donovan Mitchell looks good. Darius Garland looks good. Evan Mobley has been good. Like everyone is just kind of doing their job, including Ty Jerome, who is playing 16 minutes and averaging 11 points in those minutes. So he's playing a good role for that Cavs team. The Nets are 500, which, as much as it's only been 6 games, I didn't think I'd be saying that at any point in the season. So the fact that they 500 is pretty impressive to me. And I think they've played some like pretty good teams too. Like I don't think the Nets have had a Mickey Mouse schedule. So through their 6 games, they lost to the Hawks, lost to the Magic, beat the Bucks, lost to the Nuggets in overtime, beat the Grizzlies, and then beat the Bulls. So like they played really good teams and they're 500. And they like beat the Grizzlies by 13. Like it wasn't necessarily a super close game. The Nets are just like like fine, I guess. Like it's weird.
We'll see. We'll see how long it lasts.
I think it's gonna be like the Jazz, that their first season after they traded Mitchell and Gobert. Like I think they will be a hot-ish or relatively hot start and then plummet out of the play-in and finish around like 11, 12, 13. So I think they'll be slightly better than we thought, but obviously still not a great team.
The standings that you see on your screen right now, this is the ultimate NBA Eastern Conference equivalent of stop the count. No more games. No more games. I would love it if the Celtics playoff climb to the NBA Finals consisted of a round 1 matchup against, I know the play-in, but the Wizards. And then, well, you'd have the Knicks in the second round, presumably. But then Cleveland in the conference finals would not mind.
Well, I mean, honestly, Sam, if I told you the Celtics had to play the Bucks or the Sixers in the playoffs, would you be scared at all either?
No. Well, maybe Milwaukee a little bit, but they've just been such a mess. Milwaukee at least has like a pedigree where you've seen them compete and beat the Celtics before. The Sixers now. The Sixers are always going to be the Sixers. They're a joke. I
saw something on. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, even when you think of like the climb now, like it would be Wizards, a team the Celtics beat by 1 billion, and then the Cavs. Like easy.
Yeah. I saw someone on Instagram or Twitter or somewhere say like, "Oh, look, the NBA is back in 2012. It's just the LeBron or the 2010 or whatever it was. It's the LeBron, Melo, Dwight Howard. I mean, I guess maybe not the Nets, but the Bulls. This is when like the Bulls are up here too. So we're regressing. Warriors have been really good despite not having Curry. Andrew Wiggins has refound his footing, which I'm happy to see. Yeah, he was out dealing with a ton of personal stuff, and he looked really
for the
bad,
finals, but
but I can't really, I don't really hate Andrew Wiggins. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have that hate in my heart.
Not a really hate guy. Even when he was playing well, he wasn't like being a prick about it. He's not Draymond.
Yeah, Nuggets are still whatever. They got to dig their way out for a little while. The Clippers are 2-3, but I think they've been pretty good.
Big game against the Jazz tonight for the Nuggets.
Yeah, have they started yet, or is that a 10? 10. Ugh, so lame.
You can't wait to watch 2 bottom-feeding West teams, Jack.
Yikes. No, I might be going out with my friends after this, so I'm not going to be paying attention. Other than that, Wemby's had a really rough start to the season. A 42-23 split so far, taking 7 threes a game. Not ideal for the young buck.
I thought, remember, you know what's funny is last year we did a lot of talk about this is the worst Wemby's ever going to be. What if we were wrong?
What if we were wrong? You know who has been pretty good though? Jeremy Sohan. He's only shooting 22% from 3, but he's only taken 2 a game, and he's averaging 17, 8, and 3 with a steal a game. So he's been a lot better than he has been. Other than that, though, they really miss Devin Vassell right now because he's been hurt. They really miss Trey Jones right now. Keldon Johnson has been bleach your eyes bad. He's averaging 10 points on 35-18 splits, taking over 4 threes a game. Not good.
They extended him too, right? They paid him 4 years, 80. Is that right?
Yeah, which still isn't a terrible contract, but it is not Zach LaVine, Tobias Harris. Dear God, our franchise is cooked. Bad.
Dear God.
And then last thing I want to look at is the rookies, just very quickly before we move on. Probably a relatively shorter show just because it is so late, but still, we covered the game. Yeah, the rookies are still really... Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to give Bub Carrington a little bit of his credit. He's averaging 10 on 44-50 splits, which is pretty good. Like he is fine. He's doing well. The ultimate rookie win, though. This motherfucker, Ryan Dunn, who we were told is a non-threat offensively, is shooting 5 threes a game, shooting 44%. The
statistics told us that, in fairness.
Yeah, you know, for sure. Like he has been unbelievable through his first games with the Suns, playing a real role as well.
Can you imagine the Celtics this guy? Because he was there, and I was like, I wasn't devastated, but it was one of the guys that I was like, oh, like it would make sense. I feel
Yeah.
like it had a little bit to do that they felt like they already picked Ryan Dunn when they picked Jordan Walsh last year.
And also, he probably wouldn't have gotten the same opportunities here that he is getting. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
But it is what it is. Jalen Wells has looked really good for the Grizzlies, but I mean, their efficiencies have dropped off, but those Raptors rookies look like real players, man. Jamal Shed and Jonathan Mobo really impressed me in the couple Raptors games, that I watched. And then Eve Missy too has been awesome for the Pelicans team, which they need something because Jesus.
Speaking of the Raptors, Vince Carter's jersey retired today.
Yeah, good for Vince. I have nothing against Vince.
He was emotional. Did you see a clip?
No.
It was pretty cool. He's like hyping the crowd up,
yeah.
as like I don't know. It's definitely a meme. It's gonna be a meme. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be a meme.
Like the Jordan emotional meme. Oh, I see it. I can. It's
almost like the Vince McMahon, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I see. Oh, they got the face on it. That is hard. That is
the
sick.
face is hard. Yeah, it's a cool banner.
Like he is going to hang up there forever now. That is
that's a really long banner.
It is, but it is very cool because they probably don't have a lot of numbers retired, right? Is he the first one?
They actually could have made this like the biggest banner ever. Actually, that's not true. They have a title. Oh, this isn't the clip that I'm talking about. Let me see.
This is cool though.
It may be a part of this. I'm gonna put it in here.
Shout out Vince Carter, man. This is very cool. Is he the first Raptors jersey to get retired?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Oh my god.
This is the meme.
Oh wait. I have too many tabs open. I tried to stop sharing one so I could share that, but then I stopped sharing everything. Hold up. Here you go. Jesus Christ. Come on.
That's gonna be
shout out Vince Carter, man.
When
that's very cool.
What are the Celtics wearing account tweets that they're wearing white at home?
That's got to be your next one. That's gonna be your tweet. Come on. All right, Ratless Sam, what do you have for me?
So I talked about this in the pregame, but Ratless is Knicks fans, as always, the worst people ever. Well, maybe not. The LeBron people are worse. But last Saturday, as the Celtics competed super hard to beat the Pistons, our Pistons, I tweeted that the Pistons might be better than the Knicks in jest because the Knicks got absolutely rolled by the Celtics on opening night. The Knicks beat the brakes off the Pistons on Friday. And the Knicks Muse account must have found my tweet that day and bookmarked it. And then he quote tweeted it. And like, I respect that grind. If you want to troll me, fine. The rest of the people coming in to cash in on Knicks Muse's trolling are the exact reason why like the Knicks fans don't deserve anything. They essentially had a Twitter parade for beating the Pistons. Everybody beats the Pistons. At least in recent history. Maybe not anymore. Maybe they turn the corner. But in recent history, everybody beats the Pistons. It's kind of what you're supposed to do. Act like you've been there before, clearly.
Mm-hmm. My rat list is an anti-rat list. Did you see the Jason Kelce clip?
Yeah.
Just
you should have rat listed the other guy.
Yeah, I'll rat list the other guy and anti-rat list Jason Kelce. So I'll play the I don't want to play the clip because I don't want to put the word out there. But there was this guy at no, I don't.
You don't do all that.
There was a guy at the Penn State game, and Jason Kelce was there, and he said he was like a bunch of people were like following Jason Kelce as he was walking, and somebody yelled, "How does it feel that your brother is a blank for dating Taylor Swift?" And Jason Kelce turned around, looked at him, and then grabbed his phone and smashed it on the ground. Which good. Fuck that guy. Guy's an absolute douchebag. Another clip came about of the guy like pushing Kelce to the ground afterwards.
No shot. He pushed you to the ground.
Oh, Jason Kelce was like leaning over to pick something up, and the guy like Like if I was
Okay.
leaning over in a catcher
right.
stance and like topped him over, he said, "Give me my phone." And Jason Kelce goes, "Who's the blank?" Like, yeah, what? Say it again. Like basically just saying like, "Fuck you." People like that are the worst people. People who think that they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want because somebody is famous. Like just the biggest massive piles of garbage I can ever imagine. So I'm glad he's got his phone smashed. I think everybody on Twitter is in agreement that the guy's a piece of shit and Jason Kelce's in the right. And that is all.
Visual rat list. Just put it in the chat for you, Jack. Rat list is none other than Grant Williams. Grant Williams had a couple rough displays against the Celtics, and as Brick Center tweeted, nobody on the Celtics was looking to dap up Grant after game 2 of Celtics-Hornets, except for Luke. Good guy, Luke. But Luke didn't really want to give him the
Luke
time of day.
Yeah, Luke did it because he had to. Watch Luke try to look away. He doesn't even look at him. People were pissed, man. Like, look, Baden Pritchard ignores him. He goes, "Yep, how you doing, buddy?" Sam Hazard just walks right by him. They're more interested in saying hi to Charles Lee and Jermaine Buckner. That's all
As they should be.
Yeah.
Cool guys.
So lame, man.
How come ain't nobody want me, man?
Bro, it doesn't make any sense why he did what he did. Like it's just such a rat move. Ratless Grant Williams, exactly. Like it's just like what are we doing, bro? Come on. Get a grip. Rat list. I feel like I had a good one, but I don't remember what it was. I gotta start writing these down. Ratless having to guard Kari. And Ratless Kari for breaking my glasses unintentionally. He stepped on them, but it wasn't his fault. He just didn't see them.
Isn't that what happened the last time you broke your glasses? They got stepped on?
Yeah, they just get stepped
Was
on.
it Kari?
No, I don't think it was.
I don't know why I felt like it was
I don't
Kari
remember. I don't remember. But that dude's just too fucking big. I will say I did get like unbelievably hot in the last couple games we played. So I got my lick back, but
yeah.
I was dude, 2 games, I took like 10 total threes and I made like 7 of them. Like I just like was not missing shit. And I made like 3 in a row, 2 separate times. But guarding Kari is not a fun experience. Like, my God, that guy is big.
Awfully big to be typing away on the keys.
That's all I got, though. I don't have anything else.
Rat list, I fucking hate brunch. I hate brunch. I hate brunch places. I hate brunch.
Why?
Listen.
Sure.
Brunch thinks it has to be different than breakfast. It just does, right? It's one. I think the ladies get too excited about brunch. First and foremost, feels like it has to be different than breakfast. Now, the lady will always go on Instagram and see these different places for brunch. She'll see like the posts about what it looks like, the aesthetic. I swear to God, all these places we go to, you can never just get pancakes, eggs, meat, and potatoes. They never have it. They never. I mean, the one I went to, they didn't have pancakes. How do you not have pancakes at a place that serves breakfast?
Yeah, I think. I don't know when. Let me Google something. When was the term brunch invented? I'm cooking here. Trust me.
Probably too soon.
No, it was invented in 1895. So it was invented a long time ago. It feels like the concept of the modern day brunch is on the same timeline of Instagram, if that makes sense. Like brunch places are made for you to post about going to brunch.
Yes. And that's the problem. Because people like my girlfriend see it. Nobody has more ideas than my girlfriend. I was telling her this today. I'd say she probably averages 6 I want to do thises for like every 2 hours. Where do you like? You're a med student. I'm busy with this stuff and I have a job. When is the time for us to do all this stuff?
Oh man. I enjoy doing stuff, but not as much as I enjoyed not doing stuff.
Yes. She doesn't get that. She does not
Like,
get that. I'm like,
I'm
would you ever just sit? Like, you
you know,
just were in surgery rotations for the day, and now you wanna do something?
I was
What?
talking with my roommate. So my roommate went out to a bar to watch college football today with my friend, right? Objectively a fun thing.
Yeah, fun.
But I was sitting there with him, and he was like,
Did you go during the
"No,
day?
no, because he didn't leave till like 2, and at that point, I'm like,
Okay.
I think that's
Yeah,
kinda
it's not worth it.
ridiculous." Maybe even 3. But he was sitting on the couch. I was talking to him, and I'm like, he's like, "Man, I know I'm gonna have fun, but I would love to just go upstairs and play Black Ops. Like, I would love to just stay home and
Just go
play
upstairs
video."
and play Black Ops. Just
No,
do
no,
it.
it's his friend from home is like in for the weekend, so he wanted to see them, and it was like a whole thing, where he like felt like he was obligated to go. Also, Danny was already at the place, like Danny was already there waiting with the table, et cetera, et cetera. But doing that,
So
man, I'm in.
there have also, you know what the great thing about girls is they never want to say no either. So there have been what you just said about your friend made me think of this. There have been
Sure.
times, I'm not going to say when, because I don't really want to give a timeline just in case anybody stumbles upon this. There have been times when her and her roommate do not want to go to someone's birthday party, right?
Sure.
And then they both spend time kind of going back and forth, trying to get the other one to say that they don't want to go. So they're not the one that says that they didn't want to go. But neither one of them wants to go.
I get that to a certain degree, though. Like, I understand that battle, like, mentally. Because it's like, it's like not wanting to go to, like, a family party. Like, you should go.
Well, I'm the
You
goat
have
at
to
not
go.
going to family parties.
Exactly.
That's why I
No.
started all this.
No, you gotta go. Like, it is I don't want to go, but if this person doesn't go, then I can get away with it. Like, I understand that a little bit more.
But it was just so
yeah.
funny. Like when it happens, it's so funny to hear them go back and forth and like, oh man, like we'll just go for 20 minutes. Like at that point, it's taking you longer to go to and from the place than you're actually going to stay there. It's just not worth it. Like just don't go. You don't want to go. You're not that close with the person. Don't go.
Yeah. I know. I get it.
There's a
I don't got
curve
anything
where
else.
sorry. There's a curve where Larry doesn't want to go to a party. And so he and his wife show up the
Mhm.
day after the party was supposed to be and pretend like they got the wrong night. And I was like, "Why don't you just do that?" And they were like, "Well, we made like an Evite, so it says on the Evite." I'm like, "Well, you're a fool."
I see. That's all I got. Anything else?
That's it. That's it.
Awesome.
I got
Well,
nothing else.
in that case, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to have Bout Them Celtics, and all that same. Take it out.
Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, comment, tell us what you thought of the doubleheader against Charlotte. What you think of Grant? Tell us your rat list. Make sure you also subscribe and hit the bell because Jack and I are here every day, no matter what. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps morning after each game. If the game happens to fall the night before a pod, you're going to get both in the same video like this one. And other videos are up there in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. So again, subscribe and hit the bell and also leave a like. You can find us on Spotify and Apple too. All of our pods and game recaps are up there. So if you just want the audio versions of our stuff, all you got to do is hit the follow button. They'll go right to your feed. And if you leave a 5-star review, we would appreciate that. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys. You saw we got a couple emails today. Join the club, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We read them on every full pod. You can find our socials that are About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Facebook's just the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jackson1NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us.